When you run your own restaurant, every night is opening night. Coors Light, whatever your mountain, climb on.
To grill a lobster and for it to taste that sensuous and soft, buttery, that, for me, has been your best dish so far in this competition.
Nice to see you.
Nice to be here, guys.
Oh, I can't wait. Now, I just have to ask you this. Is it true that you once weighed over 400 pounds?
It is true.
Look at that.
Morbidly obese and, you know, changed my lifestyle, started cooking and eating healthier, exercising, and here I am.
And it works. See?
Okay, it may have been Sofia Vergara's inspiration for Modern Family.
Yeah.
I think she copied my accent.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Here, like, that can be moving. Am I going to have to kill an animal?
Alejandra, you seem very comfortable with not just the lobster, but with the ingredients.
I love Asian food, chef, and when I saw the coconut milk, the lemongrass, and the ginger, I knew exactly where I was going.
I saw you put these in the pan, the sizzle was hot, and leaving it in the shell, brilliant.
Nuestro plan familiar con la otra compañía no es muy...
Es obsceno.
¿Puedo ver? Ay, no, qué grosería. Déjame ver.
No, joven.
Quizás un switch algo más apto para la familia.
Un switch?
Well, I'm trying to do a different interpretation. I'm spicing up my chicken with a little bit of ancho, chile, and paprika. I'm gonna go ahead and start the breading process. I'll drench them in a little bit of flour, then on an egg, wash, and then finally on some breadcrumbs with a little salt and pepper.
Well, I'm very, very excited. You are, after all, the spiciest of all the spice.
Yes, I am, the Spice Queen!
All right, you go get a Spice Queen.
Yes. It is absolutely delicious, just like you. Welcome to our home, Alejandra Schrader.
So excited to be back. And talking about kids, this is a very comforting dish and very kid-friendly.
It is.
It's
yeah, the kids can help you do it.
Venezuelan bollos pelones.
So, bollos pelones.
It literally translates to balled dumpling. And speaking of empanadas, I'm making empanadas at the Latin Food Fest in San Diego, August 18th.
Oh, congratulations. That's wonderful.
There's a word
If anyone's in San Diego, for sure.
Showcasing Latino food.
I love it. Well, let's showcase it right here.
All right.
So what do we have
so
to do
I have
to make
one
these?
cheat sheet for you, and you're gonna grab that. But I'm gonna show you how to make it. This is the masa already made.
Is there like something you would wrap around the outside of them?
Well, so that's another dish that we make that we use banana leaves, and that would be called ayacas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sure Mark was hoping you were going to say bacon. If we could wrap bacon around them.
7 years old. Already the posturing's begun. Too cool for school, leaning against the wall. Amazing how fast the world got to him. I still see it though. The superhero inside my son. And he may not listen to me much anymore, Mom. But he's going to see for himself.
So what you're making for us today is something called yuca buñuelos. Buñuelos.
Yeah, and they're the Venezuelan version of beignets.
Of a beignet.
So they're made out of yuca, they're gluten-free, so hey, that's my argument.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
You go. And this is, this is something that we normally do either for dessert or as an afternoon snack with a little cafecito, with a little latte. And so for me, it's very comfort food. It's like warm and fuzzies all over.
And it's also a family recipe, right?
It is a family recipe. I learned this from my grandmother, and she's no longer with us, but I get to keep her legacy alive through her recipe.
So how hot should the oil be?
The oil should be 365 degrees.
Okay.
If you don't have a deep fryer, you can use a Dutch oven, or you can just use like a deep saucepan.
And what kind of oil would you use?
I like to use grapeseed oil.
Okay.
I like to use grapeseed oil because it has that nice, like, high smoking point, so it's good for frying.
And it's better than some of the other oils anyway, don't you think?
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really. If I could fry in coconut oil, I totally would.
Sure. So I know this recipe is traditionally a Christmas recipe, isn't it?
Right. It's traditionally Christmas, but you know what? They're so delicious that in Venezuela we eat it all year round.
Could you make them ahead of time?
Yes.
And you were just in Sweden, is that right?
I was just
were you
in
doing
Sweden, you guys. I'm so excited. I was there to launch the Chef's Manifesto. 16 different chefs from 13 countries went to Sweden to launch the manifesto at the Eat Food Forum. And this is it's a thematic framework that is meant to encourage like chefs and cooks to do their part in delivering the Sustainable Development Goals as established by the United Nations. So talk about a great cause.
Alejandra, you're here. you come from Venezuela, but you moved to in the United States, and you've been at the University of Michigan. You were an urban planner initially.
Yes.
And then you went into MasterChef.
Yes.
And what happened after that?
I had an opportunity to have a new career in the culinary world as a chef, and I carried what my passion was in my former field of land development, which was sustainability. And I'm very lucky to have a second career as a chef, and I feel very fortunate to have the opportunity to use my platform to advocate for the report and for issues of, that will help climate change and improve the health of people, should we switch to a planetary health diet. I think as a chef, I have, like many others, a great opportunity to connect like the farm to the fork, as we are able to educate others about sustainable produce, about biodiversity, and about the importance of supporting small farmers.
And just to push you a bit, do your clients, I know you do a lot of catering work and so on, do they like the kind of ideas you're presenting them?
You know what the best part is? To hear them acknowledge that they, I didn't think I liked X ingredient, especially if it's a plant-based ingredient that I'm trying to serve them, and to recognize that, but I loved it. How do you make it? I want to make it at home. So, I mean, at the end, it can translate into a great change, because if we empower home cooks to start cooking with these ingredients, with local and seasonal ingredients, then it triggers so much change, right? Because now these people are going to be heading to the farmer's market to acquire the seasonal produce. That will help the small farmers, right, to thrive. And so it just generates so much greatness in the food system.
You're a member of the Chef's Manifesto. Tell us a little bit about what that amazing network has become.
Yes, I'm a proud founding member of the Chef's Manifesto, and I can't believe that less than 2 years ago, it was only 16 of us getting together in New York City to start talking about what this could transform into. And today we're 284 chefs from 52 countries, 113 cities. Wow. And so the Chef Manifesto is that thematic framework that just lines up very simple actions that all chefs can take to help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. And not just for chefs, because we are able to educate then also home cooks, right, to practice these. And so we have 8 very simple thematic areas. Most of them align exactly with the report as far as like eating more plant-based food, reducing our intake of red meats, supporting local and seasonal, using local and seasonal produce, etc. I like to, like I mentioned to you earlier, I like to walk the walk and talk the talk. So I myself have become an 80% plant-based pescatarian due to my own health issues. And I think I would like to invite people to be open-minded and to taste more plant-based foods and to try to incorporate them more into their own diets, because I think that, like the report says, and I love that, let's not focus on what's being taken away from our diets. Let's focus on the huge range of plant-based foods and delicious and nutritious foods that we can incorporate into our daily diet. So let's focus on the positive and get excited about tasting new things. And if you need any recipes, just call me, and I can share, no matter where from the world, because that's another thing. We can adapt this diet to regional and culinary traditions.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much
Why are empanadas so special to you?
Well, empanadas are a huge Venezuelan staple, and I grew up in Venezuela. I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in Venezuela most of my life. So I probably ate an empanada every day of my life, because these are very easy to make. And at home, my mama will make them every day, and she'll give me a little napkin, and there I'm off to school with my empanada in the hand. Aww. So they're very special. So usually I like to have my deep fried at 375 degrees, because you'll do it really fast, and it'll be crispy on the outside
outside and soft on the inside.
That's
right?
big. Is that bigger than normal? I mean, these are a little smaller.
So this is the great thing about it. Empanadas, normally this is the size. This is the size I'm telling you my mama sent me to school with. I'm gonna take my gloves off because I'm done. Hi, my name is Alejandra Schrader, and today I'm making you Peruvian-style green noodles with beef loin. This dish is inspired by the traditional Peruvian dish, tallarines verdes con lomo.
Growing up in Venezuela, I wasn't very exposed to a lot of different foods. So Venezuelan food was it. That's where I learned my grandma's recipes, my mama's recipes, where I really learned about my passion for food. And I love to incorporate that foundation of cooking into my cooking now.